Hello all, just checking in to update you on my research proposal project and what I plan to write about. I chose to explore the topic of the hero and the concept of the hero in the epics that we have read this semester. The two heroes that I chose to focus on in specific were Achilles from the Iliad and Aeneas from the Aeneid. Upon first glance at my topic, I was tempted to choose Odysseus over Achilles, but I felt that by choosing Achilles, each character would become instantly polarized, especially during the comparing and contrasting part of my paper. The thesis for my paper is I believe that despite Virgil being instructed to portray Octavian in a positive light, Aeneas portrays many qualities that Achilles possesses, even though Achilles is considered by some as an anti-heroic character. As a sidebar, and this has nothing to do with my thesis, I thought it was ironic that these two characters were at the or on the opposite ends of the invasion of Troy, as Achilles was the one doing the invading, and Aeneas is the one fleeing because his city of Troy is falling. I thought that was kind of ironic and kind of provided a little bit more depth into the paper, at least in my opinion. So let's discuss what an epic hero is. The Oxford English Dictionary, that definition of it, which I located through the CBU website, defines a hero, specifically an epic hero, as a man or occasionally a woman of superhuman strength, courage, or ability favored by the gods, especially one regarded as semi-divine and immortal. There was also a second definition that isn't directly connected with an epic hero, but it adds that a hero is a man, or again, occasionally a woman, distinguished by the performance of courageous or noble acts, especially in battle, a brave or illustrious warrior, soldier, etc. I felt this was important, part of the definition, as our heroes are in the midst of battle or are embarking on a major journey that may define them as a person by the end of said journey. A quick rundown of the characters, Aeneas and Achilles. We'll start with Achilles. He is a half-god. His father was mortal, and his mother is a sea goddess. Her name is, not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but Thetis. Per class text, the Norton Anthology of World Literature, he is also the fastest runner and best fighter among the Greeks. Along with the general Agamemnon, Menelaus, and Odysseus, Achilles joins a squad that is set to siege the city of Troy, with efforts to retrieve Helen, the wife of Menelaus, who had been taken by Prince Paris. Achilles' character arc seems to kind of stay stagnant, in my opinion. Throughout the epic, he is mostly full of rage and conflicted about what he truly wants from life. The glory of a warrior through death, or to simply live a long life. What I found interesting about Achilles is how he openly acknowledged the value of life, with modern depictions of soldiers of that era. For example, 300, movie 300, or even something a little bit more modern, or up to date rather, Game of Thrones. Soldiers seem to bask in the process and the prospect of dying in battle, kind of like a birthright. But once Achilles found out from his mother that he'd certainly die during the siege of Troy if he stayed, he realized that the post-death accolade that comes with that just isn't worth it. So he begins questioning the heroic code, which I thought was an interesting thing to bring to the surface in that character. Now we'll move on to Aeneas. So like Achilles, Aeneas is also half god. His mother is Venus, the goddess of love. Aeneas is a noble warrior who, through prophecy, is fleeing his falling city of Troy and heading to Italy in order to find a new home. The epic was written at the command of Octavian to preserve his image during his life and after his death. The text hinted that the piece may have been considered propaganda, but instead it gave a stark reminder of the effects that imperialism had on countries and people within. What I found interesting about Aeneas was his relationship to his mother, Venus. During his journey, Aeneas encounters his mother on an island that a storm had sent them to, and Venus shows her son the correct way to get home safely and once again bails him out of a troubling situation. Per the text, these actions by Venus angers the gods, as she does this several times, and causes conflict amongst them. If epic heroes are to be favored by gods, that's kind of surprising they would get upset that she is trying to save him and preserve him, instead of letting him stay in his trouble or possibly die. Like Achilles' vessel is rage, Aeneas' vessel throughout the Aeneid is duty and his willingness to sacrifice for said duty. For example, his love and relationship with Dido, he was willing to sacrifice that all for the duty and the and his mission of getting to Italy and finding a new home. I hope to further dive into how the two characters, how they come from different pasts and how they do have much more in common, but I kind of like to save that for the research paper. But this is just a quick recap of what I've studied so far and what I've researched so far, and hopefully I can find something that can provide a little bit more clarity. That's all I have for today. I know I got this in late, it's Sunday, but I still hope to get some feedback from y'all. Am I heading in the right direction? Am I off base completely? Anything will help. Good luck during the final stretch of the semester and enjoy the rest of your evenings. Take care.